Hello, hope you're good. This is the Ginger ice cream maker. It's 10 in 1. Actually, hang on. Yep, 10 in 1 ice cream and frozen drink maker. It pretty much does anything you can think of frozen. Right, if you've ever wondered what I think that's actually about 8 bananas sliced up looks like, that's it. And Boston's just been fed quite well. We like the offcuts. But all of this just goes in the tub. So all I've done is drop them in, and what we need to do is compress them down so they actually kind of become some sort of, like, in its own words, a homogeneous mixture. So let's just squish. Oh my gosh, that was really, really fun. Just putting a bit of pressure on it, like so. That is all of my bananas in there. I do feel like I'm doing half of the work for it though already. The lid goes on. So this is going in the freezer. Now back to me many hours later. Here we go, this is 36 hours later, what our frozen bananas look like. Wow. So is there any sort of weird feet? Oh, there's bumps on that. And you can see in there as well. So hopefully, maybe see if I can try and miss it and then turn it. Oh, yes. See? That is nice and snug. And here's that nice, satisfying. Oh, it's very loud. I mean, the top part does look good. I can just see a whole wall of bananas. Like that. Oh dear. Well, we can respin. That's really warm. I actually thought this would be one of the easiest. Let's have a look. Oh my word, look at that. But look at this in here. That is still very nice and cold. I mean, I don't know how far down that's gone. We've got to give it the benefit of the doubt here. I mean, that does look more like ice cream than sorbet. I think calling it banana sorbet is definitely the wrong wording. That is banana ice cream. Oh my word. That's what I was thinking it was more going to be like. Oh, okay. I'm impressed by that. I'm understanding of like the size of it. A little bit scared that it was wobbling at one point, but how frozen rock solid that was. It powered through, and that is really smooth. If, like me, you are impatient when it comes to ice cream making, I've had to bite my lip so much in the last 36 hours, you might be like, well, I want to make something now. And on the Creami, one of the functionality is milkshake. And obviously a milkshake doesn't need to be that set. But the really cool thing, and I am going to probably say cool a few more times because that's one of the only puns that I can think of for ice cream right now. 200 mils of whole milk. Full fat milk. Although one of the functions, one of the 10 in 1 is light ice cream. Is that just not ice cream with different ingredients? I think it is, but hey, if that's a functionality, then this video is 4,000 in 1. But anyhow, combining full fat milk with whatever ice cream you desire, we can make a very quick milkshake, and this does not need 36 hours. 200 mils of the full fat milk. So basically it's just whizzing up the ice cream really, isn't it? I blooming love this ice cream. I really don't want it to be ruined. Oh, I love that click. That's one thing I don't like, the noise. As I talk a bit quieter now, it sounds like a washing machine. It's like really loud, like unnecessary. I feel like it's kind of like bragging. I'm like, yeah, I can do 10 in 1. Okay, that's why I would like to spout. Okay, that is. Some of the milk has separated from it already. Oh. It's not about the flavour, because obviously that's straight from the ice cream, but that is so simple. I'm really impressed by that. Hello, it's late at night. Let's get this frozen yogurt going, shall we? Whole milk, vanilla extract, sugar, double cream, and last but not least, this is yogurt, but again, it insisted on a full fat one. I actually wish that I had some vanilla pods with me, like actually get some decent seeds in there to give it some speckled look. We can always add that later, maybe I will. And now I'm going to miss the tub, aren't I, after all that? Here we go. I wonder how accurate their measurements are. These are some Oreos that I actually have generally just found from a biscuit tin. So, chocolate chips, Oreo pieces, and to return to the vanilla-ness, that's a lovely word, isn't it? Vanilla-ness. This is a vanilla pod, and I'm going to scrape the seeds out, okay, for some really intense vanilla punch. Chocolate chips going in. Wow. Oh, that's so fun. That is so fun. Oreo cookie crumb soil going on. Very excited for this. I can hear it rattling around. That is brilliant. It's holding its shape, look. That's not drooping off at all. And that's probably been at room temperature for nearly 15 minutes. Oh. So, my conclusion is I really, really like it. So, like I say, this was not sponsored. I would like to try out other brands, of course. Compare it to the clumpiness of this. Don't get me wrong, you could make way more ice cream in that, but having all these tubs, different dietary requirements, like for example, Chloe, she's on a vegan diet, she could have her own tub. I'll have this one. It's all good. I've actually personally got a few things that I would do to enhance it. Holding it down felt like that needed to happen just to give it some stability, but I don't think anything bad would have happened despite 1 or 2 reviews saying that did. I kind of counted that negative review, so I guess we can look at this as a positive. Inside this massive box is a ginger wood fire. Well, actually, spoilers, it's not. Oh, so here it is then, 2,400 watts of potential smoky electric fun. We're gonna test most of these today. And I say most because there's one mode that we've already proven already with another appliance that they make that does actually work, and I picked literally the worst day to do this video today. It is freezing out. Okay, so we've got some potatoes here. There we go, look at that starchy water. Almost part of me wonders if they'll ever start selling starchy water as some sort of product. Nothing surprised me these days anymore. Like the new coconut water or something. Tastes just like chips. 2 garlic cloves. This is one of my favourite herbs, rosemary, because it's so easy to shed like that. You can get like, when people do like serious barbecue and they like whack food on the barbecue and they call it like a herb stick and they like whack the flavour on. It's my version. This is some time, and you know, without the pun, it is quite time consuming. I mean, you can do the same, but it can be a bit more fragile to go sort of against the stalk a little bit. I'll get these dried. In goes the garlic. Oh, that smells good. Some oil just to lubricate it. Salt. And remember, we're going to smoke this as well. Some people hate smoky flavour. I bloomin' love it. And then the rosemary and the thyme. Let's get the wood fire ready. So I'm going to go for the all-purpose blend pellets. They look like something you would get in a pet store. I'm fairly certain someone's rabbit gets fed with something like that. And apparently this scoop measurer, that is the perfect amount to go in the pellet feeder. This finger trap is dangerous. That is, yeah, you do not want to catch your finger in there. So let me just take this out. Oh yeah, this lines up perfectly. Oh, look at this. That was very therapeutic. So now, that goes in there, lock it down. And there's obviously some sort of heating element here that when we press this button, which we actually have to do first. I'm telling you all this indoors because like in a minute it could get really windy, and if there's loads of music over it, you know why. That is what is going to illuminate that first, and then we air fry. Gotta be honest, quite enjoying this. Now, if calculations are correct, it should tell me to flip any minute now. There we go. Oh, let's have a look. Oh, they look amazing. Just gonna... Oh, the oil is collecting in the... Just show you one there. I don't know if the camera's going to really focus on that. Hopefully that shows you got that lovely golden colour on it. Some of the herbs just specked on it. Some of them are sort of like more coloured than others. I mean, I probably could have pushed it really. Obviously, you don't have to go by the cooking time it gives you. But, oh my word. Ah! Oh, and as if by magic... Mmm.
Oh, wow.
That is good. Just enough. It's not too overpowering, is it?
No. Tastes like campfire.
Tastes like ash.
You know the smell of campfire?
Yeah. Do I smell it?
Maybe it's you.
All right.
No, you don't.
No, that's sweat. So I've actually swapped the pellets over with their other ones with a bit more smoky flavour. And what they've told me to do is dry rub. This is just some barbecue seasoning. But now what it's telling me to do, and I've never really done this before, is just dab the ribs with a little bit of vinegar for some tang. So maybe that's giving it slight barbecue sauce vibes. Maybe that's making the spices like adhere to it slightly. But this is going to go in there for 1 hour and 15. So let's get back out there. I love that I can just sit here with my barbecue sauce. It's got 11 minutes to go, but it says at 10 to go to do this. Oh my gosh, that looks amazing. Brush barbecue sauce all over it. Oh, that is such a good smell. All right, here we go. Oh, yes, look at that. I've done it to their timings. I probably would like to have done it a little longer. But I'm going to turn that off. It's saying bye. Get some new pellets ready. We've still got 2 more to do, but I want to taste this now. That does look rather delicious indeed. I think I would like to have pushed it way longer than that and really get the char in, but I want to stay true to the manual, okay? But that smoky waft that's coming from there, in fact, I might just pull off the sides there. Oh my word, that is absolutely divine. The barbecue sauce, even in that short time with the sugar in it, sort of caramelised and clung to it. But I'd really like to build up the layers more. You are tasting the vinegar though. Like for a smoker setting, it's normally like slow and low, so the temperature was much lower. Well, that was like an hour, so the pulled pork, let's say, is like 6 to 7 hours. But I feel like that really, another 30 minutes at least of smoking and then start building up the barbecue sauce layers both sides over and over. However, a blooming grill. Right, probably one of the most easiest settings of all, but we can still add the smoky flavour to it, is the grill, which basically is the electric barbecue setting. Wow. Right. We're gonna make smoked chocolate cupcakes. So the plan is, we're gonna sit this in one of the crisper trays as well, so it can give airflow around it. I don't wanna sit it directly onto the hot plate, because that will be too hot indeed. I've actually put some chocolate chips in this mixture as well, but we're hoping we're going to smoke that flavour through it. I went for orange cupcake cases intentionally as well to represent fire. Goki! Oh, there we go. I love how much they've puffed up. It's amazing. Look at that colour on there. Maybe the intensity of that warm box a skewer now does fully come out clean. So it was 22 minutes in total I did it, rather than the 16 minutes I was hoping for in an oven. So kind of the opposite of what I was thinking then, of like a more intense space. But they smell smoky. I just wanted to make some like little icing that would make it pop. We could pipe it on if we want. I might just leave a little gap so it teases a bit of chocolate cake there. A bit of smoked chocolate cake. Some absolutely non-smoky looking sprinkles. Yeah. Although it looks pretty like that, I'm going to try and take a bit of the cake. Wow. This is one of the cheapest air fryers in the world. This is one of the most expensive air fryers in the world. Today, we're going to compare. First thing, look, these asparagus spears nearly fit in there. In fact, if I put them down like that, they probably would. I'm going to chop off the bottoms anyway. Yeah, it's going to need a bit more on there. Not too much, but you don't want to be snapping the spears just yet. There's definitely a Britney Spears pun here, but I don't want to be toxic. This is just preference, I'm doing it like this. So the tray's out the way, I can just kind of gloss it a bit better. Nice and coated, and sit it back on the tray. I've just done the same thing, so oiled them with the crisper tray out and then back in, hey ho. Let's go. On, air fry, 200C, 10 minutes. We are literally having an air fryer race right now. This is the thing, actually. Remember, this is just a 20 quid air fryer. It's not Alan, although he might make an appearance later. It could actually break during this video. We might push it too hard. Oh, there we go. Oh, okay. And indeed, it has just finished. Ooh. All right, let's compare. I have to be honest, they look rather identical. Similar consistency. Maybe a slight more charring on the budget one. Okay, budget one. Never air fried asparagus before, but you've got that charring from the oil. It's a little bit thready. That's the consistency of it anyway, I think, and this will confirm that. Yeah, tasted exactly the same. For test number one, the air fry test, I can't separate that. So, no oil. They look already browned anyway. Hang on a sec, what's going on here? So in there, zone 2, max crisp. So yeah, 240C, 15 minutes. The instructions say 200C, 15 minutes for other air fryers, so... Go on, Hugh. I'm counting on Hugh. Ooh, here you go. As Camel looks on. Camel, you are very disappointing, mate. 15 minutes. Not sure if you can see that there. You see it? Yes, you can see it. That is angry. I mean, 240C in an air fryer in that intense space is pretty crazy. Ooh. Wow. Oh! I tell you what, it's sounding the same as well. I don't know, but that's a whopping 40 degrees more for the same cooking time. It's got to at least look different, hasn't it? Gotta be honest, I'm really enjoying this video. We're on our second test. Ooh. What? I did exactly what it said. What? I mean, they're crisp. They're max crisp. Oh dear. One or two of them look like mopane worms. I did a taste test video on that years ago.
I don't know if that's going to help with the flavour. Hopefully it will. Drained it off on some kitchen towel and it's now sat in a gorgeous ramekin dish ready to be munged. Oh my gosh.
I mean, let's be honest, just shove a bit of ketchup on, no one will notice. But I think 75% of them do look all right. Hugh, mate, you done it. Oh my gosh. I mean, you could maybe argue these aren't complete. I mean, they are a nice golden colour, to be fair. Look at that. I was trying to stick up for the ginger ones a bit. Maybe 2 minutes too much, but I just followed what it said. Crispy, fluffy, but that over browning, that's what we call it. It is slightly dominating that flavour. Anyhow, let's try this. If I closed my eyes and did that, I would want that to be the max crisp one. It's got an absolutely outrageous crunch, yet because it didn't cook as intensely, I don't think the inside has got so like baked, and it's like much more fluffy as a result. Oh, maybe if it's like 220C or something like that, but 240 is strong heat, and wow, I guess even if it's a tie like our first test, then arguably the budget one has won, but I think the budget air fryer has actually won that. This is some dark chocolate, and here is some peanut butter, half of it for this recipe, and some standard butter. With it being chocolate, 30-second blast, stirry until, well, smooth. We are building up quite the epic air fryer playlist if you fancy checking that out. So that's nice and smooth now. This is just some flour and cocoa powder. The other thing we've got is some eggs, is 2 beaten eggs with some sugar. All right, that'll do nicely. So nearly there now, but of course I get the excitement of doing this again for the other air fryer. Chocolate mixture goes in, and then the flour too. This is very rough, and I'm going to be equally as rough for Hugh's one, don't worry. Not the biggest mix, and I think in a weird way you're sort of seeing the true depth of just one of these air fryer buckets now. Apparently we just drizzle on some peanut butter, just sort of roughly. I'm happy with that. Is take some of that spare chocolate that I melted up and just drizzle it on top like that. I don't think that's going to get like a decent set on it, but it says to put it in there where there's still residual heat. I'm going to actually leave it out here because I think it'll cool down a little bit quicker. All right, and there's Hugh's go. Hugo. I gotta say, I'm liking the puffage on that. Slightly more risen, but obviously a smaller capacity, so it's gone higher. Chocolate again. Oh my word. Nice. I'm fairly certain if I was careful, I could probably get this out, reasonably well. But I don't feel like being careful today. So I am just gonna lift out what looks like not the most moist brownie. Oh, he says, look at that. There is a little bit there, and I want that if I can. Let's just get that back on top so we can see. There we go. There's our peanut butter back. I would say it's slightly more chocolate cake than brownie. But it's worked. It just kind of has that microwave sponge vibe. You know when you do like a 1-minute cake in a mug? Yeah, that's worked, but has Hugh. Down you go, mate. Alrighty, looks very similar. This one actually looks slightly higher. I think it's the appearance of it in the bucket where it's a smaller capacity makes it look like, whoa, but now that it's out, pretty similar. Oh, that is good, but it tastes absolutely identical. I've got to call that another draw. Ooh. Oh, wow. Okay, so the banana and the apple. Oh my word, you can see the apple. Yeah, that is very well done. Look at that. That's amazing. The banana's actually stuck. I've got to peel them off a little bit, but that has worked. I mean, I think you could push these a little more. They seem, they've got a little bit of chewiness in them, but I think I'd probably prefer that. I do find that with dried bananas. I do like a charity walk each year and make a trail mix, and it's always like the bananas that are like, ooh, that's got some crunch. I'm genuinely impressed by that. Let's have a taste. Couple stuck underneath the tray. Absolutely amazing. I'll try the banana first. Oh, it's still sweet. And that tastes way fresher than those ones that you buy pre-bought in a bag. I really like that. How about the apple? Oh my word. I actually quite like keeping the peel on. Obviously that was optional. Just sort of thought give it a nice little pattern on the edges, Oh, Kind of reminds me of astronaut food. But when you eat it, you are slightly, like with the moisture in your mouth, rehydrating it slightly and bringing it back to life. There's a nice sweetness in both of those. That is really impressive. That has worked an absolute charm. Yeah, it's good. I don't know how energy efficient it is compared to a standard dehydrator, but it was quiet and it worked. For this test, we're gonna try out the roast setting. Now, I'm a bit skeptical about that because basically when you're brushing something in oil and you're putting high heat on it, aren't you sort of roasting anyway? But there is a roast functionality. Perhaps it's taking it up to that high temperatures again, something we know Hugh can't do. But in the book, there's a recipe for spicy roast potatoes with baby potatoes, so I'm gonna slice those up now. And we might as well just make one big mix for both air fryers. So it's telling me to add olive oil, a good amount of that. Obviously the smoke point in olive oil, and even something we said recently, that's why you've got air fryer oils and sprays, because they have a better tolerance for stuff like that. So this is going to be fun. Paprika, onion granules. Nice. But I suppose one of the differences is, whereas this one, which is a roast at 180, so Hugh can do that for 25 minutes. See, that's a roast setting, but I mean, it's saying that it actually is, so we sort of have to believe it. Whereas Hugh, it has these presets like fish, cake, fries, all that stuff, but are they just sort of things that are like quick access to the temperatures and the times? Yeah, it's actually changing them. I think that's what it does, whereas that machine there, if that's doing something different, we're about to find out. 180C. So let's find out. I'm not sure about this. I'll shake both halfway just because Hugh's going to remind me to. Must remember, amongst all the fun we've had so far, that doesn't actually have a warranty, that machine. Ooh! That looks good. Get them in there. Oh, I am loving that. Oh, I've got to say, they look good too. Oh, blimey. Is the real winner today air fryer? I don't think this video's gone how I thought it would, hoped it would, or any way I could have imagined, but I'm really enjoying it. We've got one more test to go, but let's taste this. Nice crunch, full of flavour, fluffy in the middle. Really like that. But I don't know, look, see, these look the same. I would like to have maybe done those on the max crisp setting. Don't say it. There's something... No. They are very, very, I think maybe just a teeny bit crunchier from Hugh. But no, it's literally down to the potato size of pickup. The much smaller ones have crisped up really, really well. They're both really good, really tasty, and that was a nice recipe. All right, so we've got zone 1 of the ginger, and we've got Hugh's bucket. These are chicken thighs with the skin on. I'm hoping they're actually going to char up and blister quite nice. And this is some buffalo sauce. I've no doubt, though, that this will warm and actually just dribble to the bottom. So I'm just following their recipes again. So buffalo chicken thighs. So they air fry for 200C, 27 minutes. Actually, we've talked a lot about like preheating air fryers, and not even that has that functionality, but I really do think that that is not a massive thing, generally. It's such a small area. So again, with this one, we know it can do 200C, 27 minutes. I won't set it off just yet. We are going to do some balsamic roasted tomatoes. So the chicken thighs are going to be air fried. That's the setting. And I intentionally picked something that used a different method because these balsamic cherry tomatoes are going to be roasted. And they only take 15 minutes. And here is Alan's bucket. But Alan's a solid air fryer. He's never let me down. And you know, maybe, just maybe, that's all it should be. Does it need to have that functionality or even a safe warranty? There's definitely a balance. Zone 2, roast 200C for 15 minutes. Okay, so let me just get Alan ready for that. Here we come, Alan, it's your big moment. 200C, but I can't do Alan's timer because he'll just start. So back here, these are both set. So if we sync, if I press start, see? This is gonna hold. Ooh. Oh no, it reset. Oh, what was the time again? Oh my gosh! I'm sorry. It must have a very short memory on it. We all get that. It's now cooking at the same time, but at some point, I'm gonna have to start to get him going. It's gonna beep mandatory halfway through 27 minutes, which is 13 and a half. which will be 1.5 minutes too late for our cherry tomatoes, which need 15 minutes, not 13.5. So I am going to keep my eye on this and this. Well, actually, I don't need to keep my eye on this at all. It's telling me not to shake it up, essentially. It recommends, like most recipes, it's good to agitate it anyway, which we have been doing, but I don't. This is literally going to cook for me. So I've set myself a 12-minute timer on my phone, which will alert me to just turn this on and get Alan going, even though when the 12 minutes hits, this will automatically. I'm having fun. This is fun. I'm in a bit of two minds here, really. Obviously, that one's working for me. I don't need to look at it. But I was expecting more. It seemed like a lot of hassle, like I was going to be like flustered. Other than the memory loss of probably me and this to get it going, there's not really much more to it. I've just literally got to turn that on. Having 2 air fryers physically take up that amount of space is probably not great. But 2 of these would have been 40 quid in total, not nearly 400. And you couldn't even hear the sound then of Alan going, all right, let's start, because there's just so much like an air fryer orchestra right now. So I'll see you in around 15 minutes. And I guess if we just leave it, it will stay warm. Oh my word. Look at that chicken. Oh, they look amazing. Ooh. Ah, there's the beep. Oh my word, look. That's cooked through too. There must be a restaurant that runs purely on air fryers. I think we just proved that concept. Okay, tomatoes. Ooh, they're good. Now, Alan's tomatoes. Oh, wow. Yep. But there is a definite colour comparison between them. Oh, my word. I'm loving the charring on there. Bit of caramelisation has happened as well as the sauce cooked. And I gotta be fair, the chicken in hue looks very, very similar. This is going to be a close call. I just looked up, I'm like, all this stuff out here. That got a bit crazy. All right, so my Hugh's chicken. Mmm. Oh, it's so tender. Mmm. And the ginger chicken, yeah, that's too close to call. When it comes to the tomatoes though, I don't think Alan's helped us here. That is a massive difference. The colour, I can even see it there. It's still nice. I feel like we're going back to Max Crisp territory again with the fries earlier. Mmm, that blistering is gorgeous. I think maybe I proved to myself there that Alan actually is the worst air fryer of the lot. And that bargain that I found online is actually a machine. I mean, it is a machine. But I can't deny the simplicity, the safety, just that peace of mind that you've got one appliance there, that functionality, especially if you're cooking for a lot of people, that could come in really, really handy rather than being like an octopus with like 800 air fryers. So I think I'm going to have to give that to the Ginger. Ginger, yes, of course, it is the brand Ninja, but many others are available, like I say, and I don't know what my conclusion is today because Hugh has been an absolute rock star. Like, if I bought 2 of them, I'm fairly convinced it would have gone like for like, toe for toe with that. However, everything we put through this, it didn't ruin it. Well, apart from these maybe eagerly charred chips. But the baking, the roasting, the air frying, the dehydrating. That actually is pretty darn cool as well, because not many people necessarily want a dehydrator. Of course you can do it in your oven. Actually, shout out to Trevor Bailey on Instagram, who's just messaged me. He proves dough with the dehydration setting on an air fryer. Pretty cool. So in conclusion, for me personally, if it was just myself or Mrs. B just living on our own, we'd probably get by with one of these. But I actually really liked the multifunctionality of this. But of course, like I say, if you like that brand, there are ones that do slightly less. There's some that are stacked. There's some that have just the dual cooking functionality rather than all the dehydration. There's still a few things that I would love in there. I'd love a preset timer so I could go to bed. I'd love a clear viewing window just to prevent the chip thing happening. But other than that, I've gone from thinking air fryers are a fad, but I'm really starting to understand and learn the benefits of it, because if you were cooking loads of meals, just shoving stuff in there and not worrying about it, that is really, really cool, especially for a weeknight if you're busy. And don't get me wrong, when I had oven chips years ago, they sometimes looked a lot worse than that. So it is what it is.